Hello, Musto0063 back for part 5 of Mega Man and Bass. Last time I took out Ground Man, and that was the last of the 3 Robot Masters on the left hand side. So we've got 5 remaining Robot Masters on the right hand side, and continuing the anti-clockwise or counterclockwise pattern. I'm going to start with bottom up, and that means next up is Magic Man. I really like his design, by the way. And Magic Man, unsurprisingly, borrows heavily from Mega Man 8's Clown Man. And that means these bloody romper enemies which just roll around on the floor. Pretty non-threatening, you can't really take any damage from them, but if you're holding onto bolts, oh boy, you do not want to get caught by them. They will just shake all the bolts loose that you've got, and yeah, really don't want to get caught by them. And we come to a train section, which is probably one of the most annoying bits of Magic Man stage, although frankly he has a lot of annoying areas when you're playing with Mega Man. But you've got these sodding copter enemies which just kind of hover around, shoot at you, and yeah, it's a right pain in the neck to get through this bit, particularly without taking any damage. Those copter enemies just shoot at the worst possible times. Admittedly, there are a few platforms that you can stay on to be safe, but of course the all constantly moving train, the fact that these enemies are quite hard to hit and quite hard because they bob up and down, meaning they'll kind of keep shooting at you. Yeah, this section's kind of nasty. Coupled with this last little bit, meaning with those spikes on the bottom hand of the platform, meaning you have to come off the train there, and otherwise, yeah, you'll get shish kebabbed. And that brings us somewhat to the mini-boss of the stage. It's CC Roll, who was in Clown Man stage in Mega Man 8. Much less threatening here, although equally annoying, I must say. You don't actually have to take him out. If you do, another one will simply drop down and take its place. But basically what you want to do there is just kind of avoid it while it crushes the floor, or obliterates the floor below you, and it creates a path so that you can actually progress. And we have these little platforms which kind of move up and down. Kind of sort of off screen there a little bit, or hopefully you heard it at least. Me taking out one of the copter enemies, because they are incredibly annoyingly placed, and they just, if you get hit here and they kind of stunt your progress, it's very easy to get caught on the platforms because there are spikes on the ceiling as well. So yeah, that's why I kind of want to take them out as soon as. And I kind of kept this Sniper Joe busy while I was taking out one of the copters there as well. So I get smacked in the face by that trapeze enemy, lovely. But yeah, I kind of held the Sniper Joe up on that previous screen before I took out the copter by shooting at the Sniper Joe at his shield, because that kind of puts it into defense mode. Because again, with 2 enemies on screen, it can be kind of annoying to deal with, but by stalling out the Sniper Joe, I can take out the copter without the Sniper Joe attacking me as well. Of course, I'm going to face plant straight into a trapeze enemy, not really going to help make much difference anyway, but oh well. This climb section is, it's okay. A lot of the enemies are just the rompers, which again, I'm going to tell you any damage, but it feels a bit slow and tedious, particularly if you miss your opportunity and you've got to wait for these platforms, because they take a little while to kind of go up and go down again. Oh joy, rompers. So we'll just avoid those as best as possible, and clown mechanical enemies as well, yay. Anyway, into a second area with the trains, and this section really just kind of wants to leg it. You want to go down, and then you want to, yeah, so avoid the trains. If you get hit by a train, incidentally, you will get well, hit. If a train kind of, yeah, if you're not like on top of the train, but you mistime it, or you're slightly to the side of it, the train will actually damage you. So yeah, you want to avoid that as best as possible. But with so many trains on that screen, it's not the easiest thing to do. This is a really kind of irritating climbing section, because unfortunately, again, thanks to the Game Boy Advance, you've got those sodding copter enemies that bob up and down that you can't see with these spike platforms, where the spikes on the platforms are moving round. So you've obviously got to wait until the spikes are not on the top so that you can stand on it safely. But yeah, those copter enemies, again, they can easily hit you, they can easily knock you back, they can easily send you into the spikes. The spikes are not a one-hit KO, by the way, as we'll soon find out, because I rather clumsily get hit by them. I don't quite. Hitbox there was a little bit weird, but anyway, yeah, it's a kind of annoying area with the thanks to the unfortunate lack of screen showing from the GBA, and yeah, I needed that health. I was hoping for more, but yeah, I'll take a small health capsule. That brings us to Magic Man, who has a very stylish entrance. And despite my absolutely horrific start to this fight, has a reasonably easy pattern. So basically, counterintuitive to what you might think, you want to get close to him. And you can hopefully see the pattern I'm going for here. So get close to him, shoot him. He will do one of two things. He will either shoot out this magic card, which if it hits you, by the way, and we will see it later on because it does hit me, will actually steal some health from Mega Man and replenish Magic Man's health. So yeah, and that's obviously one card that you just want to jump over and then jump over again. The other attack that he does is sends out these kind of energy spheres. He can shoot out between 1 and 3. There's me getting hit by that. Lovely, messed up my timing. You never quite know exactly how many he does, and it can kind of fake you out. But yeah, it's once you get into a rhythm. I say from this point in time, I don't think I get hit again. The fight goes reasonably straightforward. There is one move actually, or that he's not doing, because I'm forcing him not to do it by getting close to him. If you shoot him while he's far away from you, he will shoot a sphere at the ground. He will jump up to the ceiling, shoot a sphere to the ground, which either contains like an egg with like bird, like pippies almost, that come flying at you, or rompers. And blimmin' heck, if either of those enemies come out on screen while you're having to avoid Magic Man frantically running from side to side, particularly the Magic Birds are incredibly hard to actually hit because they come up really, really fast, and the rompers just rolling around on the floor, oh my god, they're just the most annoying enemy to have to worry about killing while Magic Man's there. And again, if they grab you, it takes ages for them to shake you loose. Oh, so yeah, I force him never. Always attacking when I'm close. I prevent him from ever doing that move. So apologies, you're not going to get to see it, but under no circumstances do I ever want him to do that attack, either whether it's the birds or the rompers that he sends out of the egg. So yeah, always get up close to him. And say this: once you've got that kind of set, it's a reasonably straightforward pattern. Obviously, despite the fact that I messed it up, but at the beginning, kind of getting into a rhythm. But yeah, once you get down to it, it's okay. And of course, you can perhaps appreciate that despite, now we're playing with bass, of course, that despite the weaker, I was actually using uncharged shots there as well with Mega Man, simply because I know I'm encroaching a bit on bass, but the levels, at least at the beginning, is not too much difficult. Well, in fact, the trains actually, I'll go on to town. I'll talk about bass for now. The train section is a lot easier with bass simply because he has dash and a double jump, so you can get across these pits a lot nicer. You can obviously face plant into shots that the propeller enemies shoot, but yeah, generally bass will have an easier time here again because he can shoot in every which way direction as well, so the copter enemies are just much easier to hit. Yeah, so his double jump and his dash will make this train section a lot easier. But quickly going back to Mega Man, I was not using charge shots there. There seems to be a tendency where if you use charge shots that the kind of pattern somehow kind of, or at least for me, seems to kind of mess up. So I was deliberately not using charge shots there, which slowed down the fight admittedly. And we're going to see a very, very similar, obviously, fight with bass, just that I'm not using charge shots. So yeah. We can also see that bass can sneak through there. Just Mega Man slid under that area, so that didn't really seem weird. But yeah, bass can just travel through the thing, travel through the wall apparently. But oh well, yeah. Anyway, that's enough about Mega Man's fight with Magic Man. We've kind of got way into the level with bass. I've talked about the train section. See there, I got hit there, and it kind of knocked me back. If I was a little bit slower there, then I could very easily have not been able to get through that gap in the wall there, and the platform would have risen up and I've crashed into the spikes, and that would not have been nice. So yeah, that's why I was so keen to kind of take out those copter enemies as quickly as possible. And this section obviously made a lot easier with bass's double jump because he doesn't even really have to wait for the platform. Obviously, I want to be very careful not to get stuck by the rompers and then lose all my bolts, because I'm going to want them. Believe me, I'm going to want them for the shop bit later. But yeah. With bass's double jump, the climbing section becomes a lot easier. And of course, the later climbing section with those platforms with the spikes on will become a lot easier. And avoiding these rompers becomes a lot easier as well, because I can just simply double jump over the whole lot of them. The train section doesn't really become any easier with bass, although I don't actually need this final train to get up to this platform. In theory, I suppose I could have got out Ice Wall with Mega Man and made that jump up to that platform, but you know, the train, you can get there easy enough with the train, so it didn't really seem worth doing. Handy shooting ability with bass. Also, his double jump here will mean that not only can I clear the section just generally easier by not really having to use the platforms as much, but I can also use the jump to scroll more of the screen on, so that I can actually see more of what I'm doing. I can also jump into the spikes because I'm not quite sure exactly what's happening above my head, and my double jump kind of screwed me over there. But oh well. And I'm actually going to shut up for the boss because there's not really too much different for the fight. And yeah, provided I don't get hit with a copyright strike or anything like that, the Robot Master music fights in Mega Man and Bass are my favourite of the absolute series, and I want you to hear one round of the music. And there you go. That music is by an absolute country mile my favourite Robot Master theme of the entire Mega Man series. Classic, X, otherwise. I absolutely love this theme. Yeah, I kind of went into that kind of tangent because, yeah, I screwed up there, unbelievably, despite a double jump, but you can clearly see the exact same principle applies with bass. It is a lot easier with the double jump to not land on either the magic card or these energy spheres. So, yeah, the fight is pretty much the same. And, of course, I finished him off in a stylish move with the downward angle shot because why not? Yeah, since the fight is pretty similar to Mega Man, I'm not really using, other than double jump, of course, I'm not really using any ability per se with bases any different, and I'm not sure that I necessarily have an opportune chance to discuss the music, or at least allow it to play on, play in full so you can hear it once. I'm sure you probably heard it already anyway, but yeah, I love that music. By the way, I didn't talk about the weapon, of course. Sorry, magic card. Really useful weapon. You can shoot out a magic card, funnily enough, horizontally or vertically. It can be used to kill enemies. It can also be used to collect items. So anytime you've seen weapon energy or health energy stuck in a wall somewhere and you're thinking, well, how on earth do I get that? Magic card. Very, very nice weapon. But anyway, that brings us on to the CDs. And yeah, I hope you're paying attention there at the beginning because, yeah, the second we teleport into the stage, sparkles on the left-hand side. So get out Rush Search, and he'll dig up a CD for you. Quite easy to miss that if you're not paying attention right off the bat. And that brings us to the train area. I'm not going to get that CD just yet. It will be far easier to get with bass, so I'll come back and get it with him in just a moment. But yeah, sparkles on that platform. And of course, we're clearly going to have to get rid of all the copter enemies first, because otherwise they'll keep shooting. They'll likely hit Rush. They'll stop him from actually digging up the CD, and yeah, you'll have to do it all over again. I have no idea, by the way, why on earth I use an animation there. This was literally like 5 to 10 seconds later on. I hope you saw the sparkles there, by the way. This is a really freakingly annoying CD, but yeah, I have no idea why I used a sodding animation there to cut later on in the level. Literally, it was almost 5 seconds away. Ugh. Anyway, this one's really freaking annoying. You can clearly appreciate what I'm doing here now. I have to get Rush Search out and dig on that area on the right-hand side, but I have to keep this giant mid-boss away from Rush. And if it goes wherever the hell it wants, so if it just happens to land on the right-hand side of the screen, like it did there, it caught Rush, but thankfully he was just finished digging it up, so yeah, happy days. That is a freaking annoying CD to get. Because, as I say, if CC Roller decides, oh, I'm going to jump over to the right-hand side of the screen and crash into Rush while he's in the process of digging up that CD, there is absolutely nothing you can do about it. Anyway, the room after it, there's an area up here in the top right where those mechanical clown enemies came down, and a set of sparkles right over on the left-hand side. So you once again get out Rush Search and dig it out. Again, I could have really left that in. There wasn't too much later on in the level, but nah. The platform area might have been a bit long and tedious, so I thought that was a decent. That seems a reasonable enough cut. The other one did not. And what I'm doing there is I'm going up to the right-hand side to force the platform on the left-hand side to eventually show itself. I don't think if you do that, it actually won't show. But yeah, you probably saw this CD when we were going through both times. Yeah, there's a CD on the left-hand side, but a dead end there. So yeah, that's why I didn't bother going up that way the first time round. And oh goody goody, another CD in a really annoying place that Rush Search have to dig out while there's enemies in the way, and I get face planted by a train. Lovely, but yeah, wait until the train, or as soon as the other train, I just about get it here. As soon as the train goes by, there, yeah, get out Rush Search and dig. Otherwise, another train will come along, and of course, if it catches Rush before he's finished, yeah, his animation will be interrupted, and he won't dig it up. Now, apologies, you won't have actually seen this, or I don't believe you would have done anyway, but yeah, Game Boy Advance crumminess. There is a spot here where there were sparkles, but and you would have seen it on the SNES version, but the Game Boy Advance, when we entered the room, the screen was too low that we couldn't see it, and I couldn't really get it high enough to be able to scroll it onto screen. So yeah, really stupidly placed CD, at least on the Game Boy Advance version where you can't see it. So yeah, apologies, you wouldn't have seen the sparkles there, but yeah, that's where the CD is. And last two for Mega Man. This is a really weird set of CDs. So we'll take out all the enemies first, and hopefully you can see the set of sparkles there in that kind of area on the tracks. So we'll get out Rush Search and we'll dig. get one CD. And then we'll move to the right, further into that little area, and we'll get another CD. Yeah, they hit 2 there. One of them you need Rush Search, the other one you don't. But anyway, that was all Mega Man CDs, so that brings us to getting the CDs with getting the remaining ones with bass. I talked about this one earlier, the section with the trains. This one's just much, much easier to get with bass. You can, in theory, I think, get it with Mega Man if you're really, really good with Ice Wall, but why take the risk? And probably saw this CD a couple of times as well. Again, you can get this with Mega Man, with Ice Wall, or if you use a Spike Guard, but yeah, bass's double jump, enormously helpful here. It's a bit of a pain getting out, but since I actually managed it successfully, and I think managed to do it without getting hit, I thought I'd just leave that in just to show you how awesome I am. Nothing to do with lucky timing or anything like that at all. And that brings us to the last CD, which is a pain in the neck as well. Basically, there's an area up there, you saw the CD, but there's an enemy that keeps respawning. So what you have to do is get on that train and then shoot upwards and get the CD. Pain in the neck, you always get hit by the enemy, and you always get knocked off the trains. I hate that CD. But anyway, that's the end of this stage. That's all the CDs. So yeah, Magic Man done. And I shall hopefully see you next time for part 6. Cheerio.